In an earlier video, we discussed the linear map L from R2 to R2 defined as L of x comma y is equal to 3x minus y comma 3y minus x. We saw that the matrix of this linear transformation, which is the matrix with respect to the standard basis of R2, is slightly complicated. However, we saw that if we chose a different basis, then the matrix representation of the same linear map becomes much simpler. The simpler matrix representation also gave us a better picture of the linear map L. We also saw that the matrix representation with respect to a different basis can be thought of as looking at the same linear map from a different perspective. In other words, we could find a perspective under which the linear map is simple. Therefore, it is natural to ask if we can always do this. In other words, can we always find a perspective under which the linear map has a simple structure? And this will be the key question in this unit. For simplicity, let us first consider the case where L is an isomorphism between the vector spaces V and W. In this case, if we consider a list of vectors v1, v2, v3, etc. up to vn of vectors in V that form a basis of the vector space V, then the list containing the images of these vectors under L, namely L of v1, L of v2, etc. up to L of vn, then this list forms a basis of the vector space W. Further, notice that if you take the matrix representation of L with respect to the basis v1, v2, v3, etc. up to vn of the vector space V, and L of v1, L of v2, etc. up to L of vn of the vector space W, then this matrix has a very simple structure. This matrix will have the entries as 1, 0, 0, etc. up to 0 all the way, then 0, 1, 0, etc. up to 0, and so on up to 0, 0, etc. up to 0, and then the last entry is 1. More precisely, if the ijth entry of this matrix is denoted by aij, then aij is equal to 0 if I is not equal to j and 1 if I is equal to j. That is how this matrix is defined. And this is the simplest possible structure that we can have for a matrix. Therefore, it is always possible to find a basis of the domain and the codomain such that the matrix representation of the linear map with respect to the chosen basis has a very simple structure. However, notice that in our motivating problem, the domain and codomain of the linear map were same. Moreover, we also took the same basis in the domain and in the codomain. And it is because of this fact that we could say the matrix representation of L with respect to the different basis is just looking at the linear map from a different perspective. In other words, we were just aligning our head along this basis. But this is possible only if we take the same basis in the domain and codomain. So, although we answered our earlier question in affirmative, it is not fully satisfactory. So, let us modify the question and state a more precise question this time. So, first of all, let us now restrict our attention to linear maps from a vector space to itself. Such linear maps are often called operators. So a linear map from a vector space to itself is called an operator. Sometimes we will say a linear operator. And in this unit, we will now consider only linear operators. We won't consider general linear maps. And we are interested in the question, given a linear map from V to itself, does there exist a basis V1, V2, V3, etc. up to Vn of the vector space V such that the matrix representation of L with respect to the basis V1, V2, V3, etc. up to Vn in both the domain and the codomain has a very simple structure, namely it has some scalar in the ijth position and has 0 everywhere else. More precisely, if the ijth entry of this matrix is Aij, then we are saying that Aij is equal to 0 if I is not equal to j and lambda I if I is equal to j. And as such matrices are important, we also give a name for such matrices. We will call such a matrix a diagonal matrix. We will also, for simplicity, use a smaller notation for this. As we have the same basis in domain and codomain and we are aware of it, we will write this as M of L, V1, V2, V3, etc. up to Vn. We do not repeat it twice. Let us repeat the question. Given a linear map L from V to itself, does there exist a basis of V such that the matrix of the linear map with respect to that basis is a diagonal matrix? And yes, I need to put a question mark here. Let us now try to answer this question. Unfortunately, the answer to this modified question is no. Let us try to understand why this is the case. If at all there exists such a basis, then notice that the action of the linear map on each of the basis element is that of scaling. However, there exist linear maps whose action on none of the vectors is that of scaling. For instance, we can look at the following example. Consider the linear map L from R2 to R2, that is rotation by 90 degrees in the counterclockwise direction. More precisely, the linear map L of x, y is equal to minus y, x. Now notice that as this map acts on the plane by rotation by 90 degrees, its action on none of the vectors is that of scaling. Therefore, for this linear map, there does not exist any vector v in R2 such that L of v is equal to lambda times v for some lambda in R. This implies that there does not exist a basis v1, v2 of R2 such that the matrix representation of L with respect to the basis v1, v2 is equal to lambda 1, 0, 0, lambda 2. This example also illustrates the importance of vectors like this. Therefore, as these vectors are important, we give them a special name. Given an operator L on the vector space V, a vector V in the vector space V is called an eigenvector of the linear map L if there exists some scalar in the field F such that L of V is equal to lambda times V. Moreover, this constant lambda is called an eigenvalue of L. Also notice that the set of all vectors V in V such that L of V is equal to lambda times V is equal to the null space of L minus lambda I, where I is the identity map on V. Therefore, this set is a subspace and is called the eigenspace of lambda. We can further notice that eigenvectors corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are linearly independent. More precisely, if L of Vi is equal to lambda I Vi for all I, Vi is not equal to 0 for all I, and lambda I is not equal to lambda j if I is not equal to j, then the list of vectors v1 to vm is linearly independent. Let us look at a proof of this fact. We will prove this using a proof by contradiction. That means we have to assume the contrary. More precisely, we will assume that the list v1 etc. up to vm is linearly dependent. Then, by linear dependence lemma, there exists some k such that vk is equal to a1 v1 plus etc. up to a k minus 1 vk minus 1. And we can further assume that k is the smallest of such numbers. So let k be the smallest integer of this fashion. Then L of Vk is equal to a1 times L of v1 plus etc. up to ak minus 1 times L of vk minus 1. But L of vk is equal to lambda k times vk. L of v1 is equal to lambda 1 times v1 plus etc. L of vk minus 1 is equal to lambda k minus 1 times vk minus 1. But we also know that lambda k vk is equal to lambda k into a1 v1 plus etc. up to ak minus 1 vk minus 1. Therefore, if we subtract these two equations, we will get 0 is equal to a1 into lambda 1 minus lambda k into v1 plus etc. up to ak minus 1 into lambda k minus 1 minus lambda k into vk minus 1. As we had assumed that k was the smallest, the vectors v1, v2, v3 etc. up to vk minus 1 has to be linearly independent. Therefore, these constants should all be equal to 0. However, we know that lambda k is not equal to lambda 1 etc. up to lambda k is not equal to lambda k minus 1. This implies that a1 is 0, a2 is 0 and so on up to ak minus 1 is 0. But this implies that Vk, which is equal to A1 V1 plus etc. up to Ak minus 1 Vk minus 1 is also equal to 0. Now this is a contradiction, as we had assumed that all Vi's are non-zero. Therefore, our assumption that the vectors v1 to vm is linearly dependent must be false. And this completes the proof of the theorem.